Parliament buildings. I'm just going to show you live footage of the scope of damage that has been meted here by protesters. What you are seeing here is furniture. This is the Parliamentary Garden Square, whereby MPs usually come here from lunch and just spend some time. But as you can see, this particular furniture has been set ablaze, completely on fire. This is just a drop in the ocean of the damage that has been caused inside Parliament buildings. As you can see on this other direction, we have this particular resting pavilion for MPs who usually come here to just have those Kamkunji sessions, parliamentary group sessions here. All this has been damaged. We're talking about very expensive furniture as well as canteen, kitchen equipment. Residents, parliamentary staff here also scampered to safety when this particular invasion happened, and this is also the scope of damage that has been meted by these particular protesters who managed to enter Parliament from this particular direction. Nothing, almost everything has been destroyed. This has never been witnessed since this particular building was constructed, and it just shows and tells you the kind of rage these particular protesters had when they made their ways all the way to the main chambers of Parliament buildings. This is the Parliament canteen, where members of Parliament usually come and just have lunch, have meals during sessions, break sessions in Parliament, whether committee or plenary. But this is now being reduced to damage. You can see some of even the personal belongings to some members of Parliament who were caught unawares. Right now, MPs have been evacuated from Parliament buildings. We saw the parliamentary leadership, including speakers from both houses of Parliament, being evacuated under tight security. Some were being evacuated using ambulances, and they just confirm that they are safe wherever they are. But this particular damage and invasion that has been witnessed in Parliament buildings, it is the first of its kind. This was not precedented. No one expected this, and it will take time. It will take at least, according to reports and information we were hearing from the clerk of the National Assembly, just giving that particular brief, it might take months, it might take even longer than that, because this is going to take some time. And it is not just here. It is, the damage has been extended all the way to the main chambers of both houses. What you are seeing right now is the fire extinguishers now being returned. There was also a section of Parliament building that was under fire and it was set ablaze, but right now these particular extinguishers are now being returned after they managed to contain that particular fire that broke out just adjacent to the Senate side of Parliament building. And right now we have security officers, parliamentary staff just coming to assess this particular damage. And what we are being told is that very soon they're going to announce for each and everyone to leave Parliament buildings, because this particular premise will be shut down. We don't know for how long. Remember, earlier on, Parliament passed a motion indicating that they're going to go, the National Assembly will be on recess at least for 2 weeks before they return. And this one, they say it will give them time to re-energize. But you know what? Coming back after 2 weeks is another thing. But and having all this put together once again for Parliament to be what it used to be, it's something totally different. And just to brief you on that particular invasion, as soon as the protesters came through this particular direction, they were able to now proceed. The first chamber to be attacked was the Senate chamber, which is just on my right, just a few meters away. And what they did is they managed to, first of all, get those particular flags that represent each and every county, and then they used these particular flags to actually now break inside the Senate chamber, where I'm now taking you. And once they entered the Senate chambers, they started taking selfies and even videos. They started chanting, "Freedom is ours, freedom has come." And thereafter, after they went to the National Assembly chambers. All this time, MPs, parliamentary staff and journalists were being evacuated through the tunnel that leads all the way to basement 1, basement 2, and that is where, under very tight security, we were able to stay for at least an hour. And all this time, some MPs were lying down, others were seated. You could see the shock. You could see the unexpected turn of events. Right now, what you are seeing is police officers inside Parliament buildings. They're just sitting here, making sure that no other invasion happens, and also they're taking time to rest. Honestly, because it's the same officers that have been engaging protesters in running battles earlier on. So it is also a time to re-energize for them. But they're saying that at some point they will have also to just order each and everyone to come out of this particular building or precincts of Parliament. This is just one of the flags representing one of the counties. Like I told you, we have at least 47 flags that are usually just outside Parliament building, but this is just one of them that has actually been plucked and destroyed. Now, where we are heading right now, we are heading towards the Senate main chambers. But even as we head there, you can see the shattered glass on the floor, loud enough to tell you what happened here just hours or minutes before we got to this particular place. And right now, this is where the damage actually is more visible than ever. We're talking about the main chambers of the Senate. This is where they came through, and these particular flags are usually mounted on either side of this particular carpeted aisle, and they were able to turn all these flags down. They were chanting that freedom is ours, and they were saying that we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. So right now, this is just a stark reminder, of this particular parliamentary invasion that happened minutes ago. And right now, some of the parliamentary staff, as you can see on the other end, they're just still in shock. I'm also going to show you something else. This particular water point area, this was also very key, instrumental, because it was used to put off the fire that actually started was actually lit on one part of the parliamentary building, and you can see it goes all the way. So this one came in handy when they managed just to put off that particular fire. And earlier on, right now, this particular main chambers doors has been shut, but they invaded. They were inside here, and they went in, destroyed some of the equipment, the visual and audio recording equipment that are usually used to capture live proceedings of Parliament. All that has been destroyed, and this, as I say, was not expected at all today, according to parliamentary security and even members of Parliament. We're talking about Parliament of Kenya, the Senate. This is a critical government infrastructure, and so right now we're being told to leave this particular place. And so viewers, this is just part of what is happening here at Parliament buildings. And Olive, we're just still here, but right now we're being told to move out, and this is just part of that particular exercise that we told you earlier about, that we were being told as journalists to come get our stuff, our belongings, and also the parliamentary staff are being told it's time to pick each and everything that you have and to leave this particular building as fast as possible. So Olive, we're still here, but the moment you're being told to vacate completely, we'll be able now to really come out. Olive, back to you.